Recorded at Drake Media Studios in New York. Welcome to Conversations with Verdel Jones. Empowering your passion with purpose. This is the show where we bring you inspiring stories, practical advice, and actionable insights to help you turn your passion into a reality. Each episode, we sit down with incredible guests who share their journeys, their challenges, and their triumphs, so you can gain the tools and motivation to take the next step in your own journey. Whether you're looking to spark a new idea, find clarity on your path, or learn from life-changing success stories, you're in the right place. So grab a notebook, settle in, and get ready to be inspired. Let's turn passion into purpose together. Here's your host, Verdel Jones.
Welcome to Conversations with Verdel Jones. I'm your host, Verdel Jones, and we are about empowering your passion with purpose. You know, I was a guest on a podcast recently, and the host of the podcast asked me to tell her one word that described me as a child and one word that described me as an adult. And I used the word tenacity to describe me. My guest here today is the epitome of tenacity. And I am so thrilled that Samantha Lawson, AKA Sam Law, is with me. She is a trailblazing entrepreneur, a community advocate, nonprofit founder, and a media host. She is all the things. Sam, I want to thank you for being back on Conversations with Verdel Jones.
Thank you for having me. There was a little while just before COVID.
It was just before COVID,
on, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So COVID shut everything down.
It did.
So I'm happy that we're back in studio, and I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here again. I really am.
So and I say tenacity because you do have that tenacity in you.
Thank you.
You have that drive and that motivation and that passion for what you do. And, and I appreciate that so much.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about a couple things today. But first, I want to ask you about YHP Cares and how you support individuals with traumatic brain injury and that transition from nursing home transition. How do you help people with that?
So New York State and a lot of states have a waiver program where what it is they coordinate with Medicaid to cover home care for people in those populations. So people with traumatic brain injury that are leaving the nursing home because maybe they're not quite as intensive care that need to stay in a nursing home, or they're already at that level, but they never want to step foot in a nursing home. They want to stay in their community. And unfortunately, a lot of times, the managed long-term care can't really cover all those needs. So New York State has a waiver. A lot of other states do, but I work with the New York State waiver. And what I do is I create the service plan. It's basically like their Bible of care or plan of care to get them onto the waiver. And then we hone in on what services they need. We craft like a custom plan for them, and then we send it off to the state. If the state approves it, they get all their care and they're able to get it at home, stay in the community, stay at their church, their whatever it is that keeps them going. They're surrounded by their family and friends instead of kind of being siloed off somewhere.
Wow. So that's something that I've never heard of,
Most people haven't.
Which is so, it's so cool. So you provide a service to help people actually. So I was a school counselor, but I used to be, and we used to put a package together to get kids accepted into a college. So this is kind of similar. You're putting a package and a care plan together for individuals who do not want to be in a nursing home, or like you said, sometimes you don't need to be in a nursing home. You put this together and then you submit it for them.
Yep.
Wow.
And then I stay with them throughout their tenure, and we redo the plan every year. It's not as intense as it is in the beginning.
Right.
It's a little less intense, but every year I make sure that their care is renewed if they need it. And if they decide, hey, I want to go into nursing home, because some people do have to go, or, if their circumstance change, or say they especially with TBI, they might have actually started to hit certain benchmarks where they don't need it anymore.
Understood.
And they're able to go back to, doing what they did prior to their injury. So.
Wow. Is there a certain income level that people need to meet? Is there a threshold?
So typically you need to be a Medicaid recipient.
A Medicaid
you have
recipient.
To be a Medicaid recipient.
Yeah, and there's so many Medicaid is a little tricky, I think, in some instances. I know the threshold is pretty low for that.
The income.
The income. So it's difficult. And I would imagine if it's a person that is supported by, like if they're married, it might be even harder to get those services.
So typically what they'll do is they'll link up with like an elder care attorney or someone like that to help them get like a pooled trust or, it's kind of to set up their resources so it makes it that they qualify for Medicaid. They might have to pay, a spend down or, the trust kind of is a better option because they're able to use their money more when for what they need to survive. But usually that's what they'll work out with like an elder care attorney or someone like that.
And I'm glad you said that because that's so important. A lot of individuals don't know that there is planning that needs to happen as you get older. It needs to happen before.
Yes.
But as you get older, it's so critical to have that information, an elder care plan, and even disability insurance. Like there's a lot of things that people need to have and we're just not aware of it.
It's hard to talk about. I don't necessarily like to use this term because a lot of my clients have a whole lot of life. But it's kind of hard to talk about like the what ifs and or end of life care. People are a little scared of that, but you're absolutely right. You should start planning pretty much once you turn 18. Right. Some families are planning it way even ahead of that.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. That's absolutely. So that's definitely something that we need to be very conscious of. What made you get into this?
So, I have my master's in mental health counseling. Make a long story short, I never I pursued it, but I was hitting a lot of dead ends, and I went into marketing for years in the alcohol industry. And a friend of mine was like, all of the skills that you have, like I've seen how you're a good writer, you're a good researcher, you do this, you do that. Why don't you try this? There's kind of an open, they went into it and they were like, oh, there's an open door here. Why don't you try this part of the business? And I applied, I got accepted. And then a year later, I started working and I went from 0 clients within about 8 months to over 25.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was able to quit my job, I want to say like 6 months in.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I work completely for myself now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's liberating, isn't it?
Oh man, I have employees now. It's crazy.
So you have a nonprofit also. How does that connect with YHP Cares?
So we changed the mission. In the beginning, our mission was about wellness in a sense, but it was more about the whole person wellness. We kind of switched the mission to focusing on health and wellness. Okay. So we focused on healthcare leadership and supporting healthcare leaders because as I started doing this business, I started to notice that the people running the business were getting burnt out because we have so much on our plate. You could start your day in a positive note, and the next thing you know, your favorite client is gone.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. Or somebody poached them.
Right. There's competition in this game.
There's competition. So, what I realized is that we were going through burnout. We didn't have certain resources. We didn't have connections. Like I might know an elder care lawyer and my friend's client might need one.
Right.
So I was like, how about we pull these resources together? And from that transition, we had our first event last May. I kind of took a little bit of a break because I just had a baby, but I'm bouncing back into things and I'm looking to hit the ground running this May.
I love it. So where does this passion, because you said you had your master's in mental health. Where did the passion for helping people come from?
Oh, my family. So truth be told, my grandfather, he, I want to make sure I'm using the right term. I believe it's paraplegic. He didn't have use of his arms or his legs.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a disease called syringomyelia. It deteriorated his muscles and part of his brain and things of that nature. He was extremely intelligent, though, and he was an architect and a veteran, an Air Forceman. So one of the things that I was responsible for when I was younger, at teenage years, is like for my grandma to just get out the house for a few hours, I would go sit with my granddad.
Wow.
And like we talk and everything. So I think that's kind of where I see that through line. And just my family's helpful. They're, church leaders, they're in healthcare. It just kind of was what it was going to be.
Made sense.
Yeah, just
made sense.
Military. I was going to be in a helping profession.
Right, no matter what. Yeah. Sometimes you just can't run away from that, right?
No.
Even when you were doing marketing, you probably were helpful in that sense as well.
I
right?
ended up being a person that was the supervisor. You needed a job. I knew where all the jobs were. You needed help. It was me.
You can't run
I was the
from
go-to
it.
girl.
You can't run. We need people like that in our world.
Absolutely.
So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
But you're also into media.
Yes.
And you have a show, That's Sam Law, and it's fire.
Thank you.
So tell us about That's Sam Law.
Okay, so the same friend that was like, you need to do this. Prior to that business, he was like, let's, you need a show. He was like, you do all this stuff, you model, you do marketing, you do all these things, you're helping people. He was like, and I was discussing burnout. Again, this conversation comes up, and I was like, man, I'm going to all these events, I'm doing all these things, I'm meeting all these people, and I'm exhausted. I wish there was a way like to get this information out to people, real quick, and not burn myself out. And I was like, I like dressing nice. I like doing all that stuff. And they were like, why don't you just do a podcast? Why don't you just do like a show? And I was like, well, I don't know if I want to do a podcast. And they were like, well, what about a talk show? And they introduced me to a media company, and I went there, and within a few weeks, they had to convince me. Like, we took a whole long walk around the city. This was the day DMX passed.
Wow.
So they were playing DMX's music all throughout New York City, and we took this long walk, and we talked, we ate, And I was like, at the end of it, I was like, all right, I'll try it.
Yeah.
It can't hurt to try. Like, I was doing like virtual shows through the nonprofit during COVID. I was like, so let me try it. I've been in front of the screen for a year, so we did it. I ended up not at first liking it, but a few episodes in, I was like, all right, after I got my flow and everything, I was like, all right, I like it. And it helped with that burnout that I was facing, and it hasn't stopped. I recently changed studios, and I'm having more guests that I want on. I have more control, more things that I understand about how I want to deliver the show and how I want it to look and everything. And I'm really excited for this season because I'm able to have like some great people. Like, we gotta have you on.
Yeah, right.
We got to. Like, this is happening. Like, I keep saying it's going to happen. No, it's happening. So I'm excited.
Thank you. Yeah, and I love doing a talk show because you get to meet some awesome people.
Yes.
I mean, some really great people that are doing so many great things. And like you said, just getting that information out to people is rewarding.
Yes,
It
really
is. It really, really is. So I started the top of the show talking about a podcast that I was on, and they asked me to describe one word when I was young, one word when I was older. So what is one word that you would use to describe you at this moment in your life?
Probably fun. I would have to say it's fun. Yeah. I think I spent so much time in my youth. I recently was awarded the 40 Under 40 2024 for Long Island Business News.
Congratulations.
And thank you so much. And Dr. G, who I know you know, and many people out there know, she had said during the show to Maya, your lovely daughter, she said, during the award ceremony, because they both came in attendance with me, and she said, wow, these young people spent so much of their 20s and 30s working so hard. Where did they find the time? How did they do that? And I was like, she's right. But I spent all that time in my 20s and 30s, and I still had fun. Like, don't get me wrong. Right. I still had fun. But I think I made a lot of sacrifices in that regard so that I could have fun now. And that's what I'm doing. I'm traveling. I'm getting weekly, going to the massage parlor, getting my back massage, going to the spa, nails, hair, everything did. I'm having fun, and I'm able to take the time to enjoy my family. I'm young. I'm about to be a grandma, which is crazy. But, I have my daughter who just got married. I'm about to be a grandma. My son's about to go to high school. I had a baby. It's just, I just want to have fun and enjoy my family right now. And then maybe in a couple of years, I'll pick up some new things.
You have a lot to do right now.
Yeah, but right now, I think it's my fun time. So
awesome. I like that. Fun.
Thank you.
So tell people where they can reach out to you, stay connected with you, watch the show, all of that.
Okay, so everything is That Sam Law. That's THATS _ Sam Law. SAMLAW. You can find me on YouTube that way, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You would just put Sam Law. But thank you so much.
Thank you. It has been a pleasure. You are doing some amazing things. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me. You're like my big sister. I always tell you that.
Thank you. I'm glad you didn't say no, I'll take auntie. Auntie's all right too.
You're my brother, close in age, so I can't even do that.
But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe so you will not miss an episode. And remember, in the words of Maya Angelou, when you learn, teach, and when you get, give. Thanks, Sam Law, for being here. And I want everybody to have a good one, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us on Welcome to Conversations with Verdel Jones. We hope you found today's discussion insightful and inspiring. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform and leave us a review. It helps others discover the show.